A little bit of everything happening right now. U.S. Open down in Pinehurst. We got some great scores early. Of course, what just took place last night, the Boston Celtics up 3-0 at this point in time, crowning the champions. And of course, Stanley Cup Finals. But that's not enough. Let's add the Euros into the mixture here. And look, we're happy that we have all this to get into, but we're even more grateful for the fact that we have an expert. Talking Euros with Joe Tansey. Let's go. Joe, no lie. This is a crash course for me right here, right now, sir.
Well, I mean, I did the crash course over the last, I think, 3 or 4 days. For the inside baseball, I sent Sean like a big Google Doc with about, I think, every little fun fact you could imagine on some of these teams. Because let's be honest, after about the top 6, 7 teams, it can be a little bit of a crapshoot. So that's why we're here.
All right, excellent. We got DraftKings Sportsbook and up in front of me right now. Of course, I got some odds, I got some awards, all of that. But Joe, quick question as far as big picture is concerned. Doing a little digging on the history of the Euros. 2007 is when they went to 24 teams. Do you think that was a good move, more soccer to more better, or was it a better tournament with just 16?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it all depends on the tournament, right? Because you could, I mean, sitting here looking at the groups right now, right?
Yeah.
There's some teams that you could pretty much say are going to finish in last place, right? And I think we're going to say the same thing about the 48-team World Cup when that expands for 2026. They're going to be teams that simply just don't belong. But on the flip side, these are teams that probably don't make the Euros in a smaller format, right? So it's a give and take of you're broadening the talent pool. And who knows, maybe a group of kids from Slovenia, from any of these smaller European countries see this and maybe they're inspired. Who knows? You couldn't make the case for everything. I think there's a positive and negative. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. The World Cup is the bigger one because that's going out to 48, and you could argue 32 is already enough. But yeah, I mean, look, the more soccer, the better, and look, we can gamble on it. So
yeah,
I guess it's better, right?
Yeah, you just pulled up the bottom of the tier of the teams listed that can win it, and no doubt about it, there's a couple teams at the end. But Poland, Hungary, Scotland, Turkey, Serbia, like they all have great stories. Then you get the Denmark, Croatia, Netherlands, Belgium, absolutely capable of winning this tournament. Maybe not this year, but in years past. Belgium, of course. And then you get to the top dogs. France is at the top at plus 350. England as well at plus 350. Germany plus 550. Portugal 7-1. Spain 8-1. And Italy 10-1. Right, or 16-1. Excuse me. I gotta start wearing glasses. Ridiculous. So let's just get to the big picture here. Out of the favorites, who's catching your eye?
I think you could make a legitimate case for, I'd say, all of the top 8 on the odds board. So everybody plus 1,600 and down. Look, I think you could make an argument that France's B team would probably be around 1,600 to 2,000. And I think that might be even discrediting some of the talent they have on that roster. That's just how deep they are and how deep their talent pool is. That being said, yes, of course they're co-favorite with England. I mean, you have a team that lost the World Cup final, team that lost the last Euro final. Boom, right there. Italy's been a bit of a mess. They're the reigning champion, but, I mean, they're all over the place when it comes to international football at this point. Germany, the host, they've been in a little bit of disarray. Portugal's won a Euro with Cristiano Ronaldo, so they can't be taken out. I think they get slept on a little bit in the overall discussion just because we talk so much. I'm not saying they're like underrated, but maybe not talked about enough, kind of in that area between. Spain is Spain. They have an identity. They've always had an identity. They know exactly what they're going to do, but that also plays to their detriment because they've gone to penalty kicks a lot in elimination games lately. The Netherlands, they're there. They're consistent. They'll probably be in the quarterfinals, but could they take the next step? And then I think we've done so much talking about Belgium in the last 10 years, right? Golden generation. Maybe now that we've stopped talking about them, maybe now, like They still have Kevin De Bruyne. They still have Romelu Lukaku. They're two incredible players. They're some of their younger attackers are coming off some solid seasons in Europe. And I don't know, maybe it's the counter of, we talked about this team so much that we're tired of talking about them, and now they've got an easy group. You can make a case, and I think that I was talking with a few people about this earlier today. The one thing that is just the most out of all these teams is, if you go through flaws of these teams, it's incredible how many of these teams don't have a true striker. Like, you have Harry Kane, you have Lukaku, but then Mbappe is not a true striker. He plays on the outside. Giroud is their top striker with France. The Netherlands, I mean, Gakpo carried them at the World Cup. Spain, Morata, you think is the guy, but can, the way they play, defenders and midfielders are going to score. Germany, Havertz and Wirtz aren't true number 9s. They're going to score all the goals, but they're not like out and out like true strikers. So it's very fascinating, right? This whole, like, these teams are really good, but if you look at the top 8, how many of them have like true out and out scorers that can win the Golden Boot by scoring like 5-6 goals? I mean, Harry Kane was the co-winner of the Golden Boot. Patrick Schick from the Czech Republic was the joint top scorer the last Euro. And it kind of just came out of nowhere. I don't think he was posted in certain spots. So that's when we talk about some of these flaws in this team, that's where that comes into play.
Well, just to let everybody know, on DraftKings, top goal scorer Mbappe plus 450, Harry Kane plus 550, Ronaldo 11-1, Lukaku plus 1300, Kai Havertz 20-1. Joe, where's he at?
Arsenal. He's Germany's.
Gotcha. Jude Bellingham in there at 20-1, Giroud in there at 22-1, Griezmann 25-1. And we'll stop there. So we'll come back to some goal scorers, and we'll get into a little bit more from obviously the strengths of these teams. Just to let everybody know, it does get started tomorrow with one game, and then it's the gas full pedal to the metal over the next, I believe, 6 days, 3 games. And we're talking about some of the best talent out there, especially with these teams, these nations rolling out these squads. Can't wait. Germany, Scotland tomorrow at 3 p.m. Germany, a minus 340 favorite. You got the draw, of course, 3 reaction at plus 500, and Scotland 9-1. We'll get into that game specifically in some games over the weekend, but I want to talk about groups, right? Groups. And Joe, back over to the future, to winning it all. Do you personally have anything open as far as a team future winning it all?
Not yet.
Okay. Didn't know if anything caught your eye or any fire.
Look, France and England for sure, right, are definitely going to be in the mix. I think Germany, I think the odds are set pretty straight. It's just, I think there's better bets that I can make.
Okay.
Where these teams, look, is the Final Four going to be some mixture of that top 8? I'd say 95% chance there is, just because of how talented they are. But I think there's different ones where you can get top goal scorer for team specific, or getting out of the group, stuff like that you don't have to worry about winning. What will it be, 7 games, or at least 4 knockout games to get through.
All right, and
that could change by the time we're done.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Hey, we're doing the show now. Exactly. This is the best time to fire. All right, so then let's get on over to the group futures. What caught your attention when you looked at all these groups over here? Of course, 6 groups to choose from on DraftKings Sportsbook. Numbers from all over, based off of how much of a favorite some of these teams are in those groups. 4 per group. Which one of these groups jumped off the page at you?
So the most competitive group by far is Group B. It's Spain, Italy, Croatia, and then Albania. Poor Albania is probably going to finish last with 0 points. I think this group could go any way. I mean, look, we've seen Croatia how many times over the last few international competitions make deep runs. I think this is kind of the last time around for the Luka Modrics of the world. So,
wow.
He's 37 years old. So
yeah, still balling too.
Right. So I think that's something, yes, Spain and Italy are the 2 big dogs, but Croatia seems to always outperform what their projections are. But I think the abundance of futures you have here makes this one a little interesting. And you can go to DraftKings with to lose all games or to finish bottom of the group. There's a reason why Albania is minus 280 to finish bottom of this group. It's just a significant mismatch with all three of these teams. So I look at it, obviously, getting minus 2.
Uh-oh. This never happened before. I lost Tansey. Oh, you back with me?
Are you back with me?
Yeah, that's never happened before. Was that you or me? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll edit it out when I replay it later. But just to pick up where you were just about to give us, I believe, Albania plus 160.
Yeah, plus 165 to lose.
Great bet.
Lose all their games.
Great bet.
I think that's where you have to look at, just because of the quality of the three teams around them.
See, I'm all in on that play right from the jump, Joe. I like exactly how you laid it out. You look at the group. It's 3 games, correct?
Yeah, and I think it's important to note here too, the 4 best third place teams get through to the round of 16. It's top 2 from every group, and then the 4 best third place teams. So and they'll rank them by points, all the tiebreakers, all that. But when you get into that situation, so if you're Spain, Italy, and Croatia, you're probably searching for minimum 3 points to get through, depending on the strength of these other groups. I would say 4 to be safe. So your 3 points come against Albania, and then where does your 1 or 2 other points come from? Comes from the other 2 matches, where they could all beat up on each other. And I think it's going to be interesting to see who actually wins that group. But I think all 3 of those teams will make the knockout round. I think Albania, there's a reason why, like I said, they're minus 280 to finish bottom of the group, but plus 160 to lose them all seems pretty feasible as well.
I love that play, and it has my attention now on Albania games. Not many things can do that in life, Joe. All right, all love and respect to my Albanian people out there. All right, Group A here. Talk to me about this from Germany's perspective, because on the flip side of that, to win all group games, Joe, Germany plus 180. They're hosting this bad boy. I believe 10 sites. Curious. I know you said that there's some turmoil right now, but where do you stand on that number plus 180 to win all group games?
I like it until we get to the final group game. So the way I look at Group A is it's Germany and Switzerland in a class of their own. And then it's Hungary and Scotland, and I don't know what we'll get from both of those teams. Hungary, they do have the local angle. Daniel Gazdag from the Philadelphia Union is on the roster. Not sure how much he'll play, but something to keep an eye on. Their first group game is Saturday at 9 a.m. Switzerland is kind of that sneaky second place team where you expect them to at least get through. They've got out of the group stage of the last 2 Euros, haven't lost much in the last year.
Uh-oh. We're having some gremlins in the system. Do you know? Yeah, I got you right now. You're jumboed on the video, but it's all good. You sound perfect. It's funny because this weekend I tweeted about there were so many issues with broadcast. Oh, the Phillies game in London.
Mm-hmm.
The golf had an issue at the end when they were trying to interview Scheffler. There was like 40 seconds of a blimp. There was just dead air. 40 seconds of the blimp rotating. I'm like, this is great because this stuff happens.
Right.
This stuff happens. All right. So we're picking it up. As I was typing the tweet to Albania. But we're in Group A. You said you like it to the final matchup for Germany. They're both in, these 2 teams or 4 teams are in 2 separate tiers.
Yeah.
And Germany, of course, like I said, I like the fact that they're hosting, and nobody's really expecting them. I don't know, because of everything you're bringing up. I've read a lot of people talking about exactly the issues that's going on. And, oh, by the way, the pressure of hosting this thing. Right. So curious as far as what type of added pressure you think that is for Germany hosting this, and now they got to go take it to the fields.
So I'll give you a little nugget here on hosting the Euros. Only France and Portugal since 1984 have been in the final as the host. France in 2016, Portugal in 04. Now that comes with a caveat, right? Because some of these competitions, they were played in Poland and Ukraine and Austria and Switzerland, and you don't expect those. I think that's you now.
Uh-oh. You had me.
We're relocating. 1 second.
All right.
Hit pause.
Yeah, that's what we can do. We're live though, but it's all good. Pause. I can write it down. I'll edit it out. Hey man, this is what we do, man. It's live. Don't write it. We'll do it live. I think you should probably just restart everything and we'll get this bad boy going again. In the meantime, I'm going to write a tweet. Oh, da 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 da. Am I losing my mind? I named B. Yeah. Actually, know someone from Albania. That's funny.
Okay.
Think that's better?
Try this again in another room that actually has Wi-Fi.
And if this one doesn't work, then obviously we'll restart this
Right.
bad boy.
Right.
All gravy. All right.
Apologies for that. So anyway,
take a deep breath. You're good. No rush here. No rush here. It's not like there's nothing on television. I got it over here. And shout out YouTube TV with the 4 blocks. Oh, it's tremendous. Tremendous.
So
sorry, pick it up.
As I was trying to say before my Wi-Fi decided to cut out, I know I hate like buying the juice on some of these props, but Switzerland minus 225 to get out of the group is it seems like a slam dunk because of just the quality of teams that Hungary and Scotland are. I think that's something with Germany being the host, Switzerland being the clear second best team. I don't see Hungary and I don't see Scotland really competing in those games. I think it really Friday's opener comes down to what Germany can do against Scotland. I think all the pressure is on Germany to score. You know, Scotland will probably just sit back and say we'll be okay with a point or whatever. But I think that's something I hate doing a prop over minus 200, right? But Switzerland at minus 225 to advance or qualify is the specific term they use. That seems pretty safe.
All right, let's juiced up there for a reason. So I think you're on the right path with that one. Like I said, I do like Germany. Let's talk a little bit about the game itself tomorrow. Again, 3 p.m. Getting this party started, and can't wait for it. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. Stay indoors, people. All right, so Germany is minus 340. Scotland plus 900 in this one. Draw even money. What type of final score are we looking at in your mind?
I think it all depends on what Germany wants to do, right? I think
they want to prove everybody wrong. They want to be that technical, just
a machine.
Get the ball up. Yeah, exactly. Be the machine that Germany is capable of being. And oh, by the way, putting on a show for their fans. Joe, they could win 5-0, right?
Oh, they absolutely could. If they play at their absolute peak, absolutely. Okay. I think for this game and for the rest of the tournament for Germany, look, there's 2 guys I think you look at, and that's Havertz who's coming off a solid season at Arsenal, and Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, and they had that incredible season in the Bundesliga. They're the two best players on that team. I think if you're looking for goal scoring props, those are the two guys. I will throw this nugget out though.
Love them.
If you're going to bet a Scotland game, you and I both know this. We're Manchester United fans.
Okay.
So we're very familiar with this guy scoring goals in big games. Scott McTominay to score for Scotland. Look, I don't know if it'll happen in this game, but he does play a very critical role in Scotland's lineup. And look, there's a reason why he's plus 450, second favorite to be their top scorer. So that's something to just keep an eye on throughout the. And I think with some of these smaller nations or teams we don't expect to go far, the top goal scorer prop is very intriguing, right? Because you really only need 1 to 2 goals.
Yep.
For these guys to score. Now it could be set pieces. There's all sorts of variables, but that's a long shot to throw out there for tomorrow. But I think Wirtz and Havertz are definitely, in terms of goal scoring, in terms of shots, I think Germany's going to be very, very much in possession for the majority of that game. Havertz is plus 200 to be Germany's top scorer. Wirtz plus 550 to be Germany's top scorer. I would bet either one of those two.
He's 25 years old. He's got an advantage on everybody. Are they still rolling up Mueller out there, man? I love it.
It's funny. It's funny because they're trying to not so subtly kick these guys out the door. But
man, it's been a long time.
If they struggle, I mean,
yeah,
he's got to be in there. I mean, Toni Kroos is retiring. Manuel Neuer is still kicking around. They're trying to put some of these younger guys in, which is why I think they've had a little bit of difficulty in transition. Another guy I'd look out for is Füllkrug from Dortmund, who should be their out-and-out striker. But look, in theory, Germany's got a pretty decent path in front of them, right?
Oh, I think so. I'm definitely buying what Germany is selling for this tournament. I am. Again, not the most plugged in guy here, but bottom line is, from the standpoint of the group, getting through and taking a look at just the fact, yeah, we'll see how they look. But right here, right now in that group, I think they're going to come out and they're going to impress some people. Why not? I'm not stating anything but the obvious, what they're capable of doing. All right, let's talk about upsets, Joe. Any upsets you have your eyes on? Who's getting knocked out? Who's a favorite that you think, you know what, man? Speaking of not buying what they're selling, give me that. Who's a team you're on the lookout for an upset?
So we always have one, right?
Okay.
There's always one at these big tournaments. The problem is when I look at these groups, I don't know if it's there. There's a lot of people that are big on Austria in the group with the Netherlands and France. I don't know if I'm completely buying it, but we always talk about whether it be Germany a few years ago at the World Cup, Spain. There's always one big power that just completely crumbles in the group stage. It always happens. It's bound to happen.
Could it be England this year?
No, I think England's too strong, and that group is too weak.
Yep.
I think in terms of a surprise,
give us one.
I think in terms of surprise, you'd have to go probably either the Netherlands out of Group D, or I mean, look, I don't think there's a chance Belgium. Yeah, I think the Netherlands might be that team because a lot of people are big on Austria, and it's not like the Netherlands have like a crystal clear track record.
And then to follow up on that, let's talk about France, because they have clearly been dominating for 2018 World Cup winners since probably right then. Is that when it all started? Probably a little bit before, but still just been running top shelf here. As far as what we're looking at with France right here, right now, still on that level, still expectations winning this all. There's nothing that they're weak in any areas.
Not compared to everybody else. I mean their best is is so elite, and that's why they're the co-favorite. The thing that's interesting to me with France is, I mentioned earlier, they got enough talent to trot out two teams. I think
Jeez.
their second team would probably be within that 16 to 2000 range in futures. I honestly think that's the case. So I think when you look at France, I think there's some interesting angles because
Okay.
look, Mbappe is Mbappe, right? And I'm trying to pull up his total goals. So this is interesting. His over under DraftKings is minus 135, the over 3.5 to score 3 goals. Sorry, 4 goals, which you think Kylian Mbappe can do that in his sleep, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But the reason I wouldn't just blindly bet Mbappe is because look, Olivier Giroud is still France's all-time leading scorer.
Okay.
Benzema at the last Euros had 4 goals. I think I said Kane earlier. Ronaldo tied with Patrick Schick for the Golden Boot. But
Okay.
it wasn't Mbappe doing the scoring. It was Benzema from the striker position. Now, obviously, that can change, but Giroud is still an important part. Marcus Thuram is coming off a good season. And Antoine Griezmann is such an important part. But I think that my favorite future of them all, if France is going to go this far, is Antoine Griezmann to have the most assists at plus 1600.
He's capable of that.
He's the guy that stirs the drink in France's attack. Mbappe is going to do a lot of really good things. So is Giroud, but Griezmann's just so important. The set pieces, just his 1-2 play. I don't foresee him scoring a lot of goals, but man, if you tell me at the end of the tournament France has 8 to 10 goals, I would say that Griezmann probably has 5 to 6 assists. And it wouldn't surprise me. He's that important to this team and how it operates. And this team's going far, right? I mean, look at the other candidates you have here to assist the most goals. It's Bruno Fernandes at Portugal, De Bruyne with Belgium, Phil Foden in England, and then it's Mbappe. But I think Griezmann is the way to go with that. I think he's just so impactful with this team, where to have the most assists seems like a good place to attack, because I know the goals might be a little more spread out in the France lineup than we may think.
Who's going to score the most goals in this tournament?
I think the default has to be Harry Kane, right?
Okay.
Like, it's really cliche, but 550 is a nice price. England's going to go far. Their team is set up for that. I'll give you 2 long shots, though.
I like that.
So Phil Foden at plus 2,800 to win the Golden Boot really stands out to me. And I know I'm picking 2 guys from the same team, but Phil Foden had a phenomenal season at Manchester City. If you take away what Haaland did up front for them, Foden's the most impactful attacking player on the team without Haaland. He had the best season of his career. And I think that there's 2 motivating factors with guys you pick for a Golden Boot. One is guys coming off career seasons at the club level. And the second one are guys motivated to take that next step. Well, if you look at the top of the Golden Boot, all of these guys have already taken the next step, right? You have to go pretty far down to find that guy. I know England's going to go far. I know Foden's going to be an important part of the attack. And if Harry Kane's not scoring the goals, I think it'll be Phil Foden. So I think him at plus 2,800. I think him or Kane are really good contenders for the Golden Boot.
Excellent. Well, look, that's got my attention. I'm also looking at some, if England can win this, Foden and England winning 50-1. That's a nice little payday right there to have.
There are a lot of people too who like Artem Dovbyk from Ukraine. He just won the Golden Boot in La Liga.
Ukraine.
But the problem is, how far is Ukraine going to go, right?
Yeah.
How many, maybe they advance out of Group E with Belgium, but this guy's got to score like 5-6 goals pretty fast.
Ukraine going on to win the Euros would be like a Disney movie, man. It'd be ridiculous.
It would.
Yeah.
But that's a guy that a lot of people like just because of what he's coming off at the club level. But I don't see the other name that fascinates me, because I know he's probably going to score a lot of goals if he starts, is Mitrovic from Serbia. He used to play for Fulham in the Premier League. I believe he plays in the Saudi league now, but he's a guy that is just a pure out and out goal scorer. You know, he's going to score goals. He's in that England group of Group C. If the matchups with Denmark and Slovenia are pretty even, he could be a guy that feasts as well.
All right. This is my favorite time to wager on soccer, because you can get rid of that three-way action, and it's do or die after the group stage. So I love these tournaments, and just to wager on.
You live on knockout round soccer.
Yeah, knockout round soccer.
This is your wheelhouse.
Hook me up, baby. I was actually talking about that run with our own Sebastian Letou on Tuesday. I was talking to him about the France run, and man, what a fun ride that was in 2018. But it got me hooked. Anyways, you set us up really nicely for success. Last question on the way out. Of course, we got game one. Is there a game on Saturday or Sunday from a viewership standpoint that absolutely we got to be in front of a television?
Well, I think Spain-Croatia is the easy one, right? Because we talk about that being the toughest group. That's at noon on Saturday. I think that's probably the one. Serbia-England could be interesting. 3:00 Sunday.
Definitely England, yeah.
Just because from the England standpoint, I think
no coincidence they're at 3:00 on a Sunday.
Not whatsoever, right? That's what we call when the Olympics set up like the swimming at like 10 a.m. over in the Far East. Yeah, that's what England gets. They're prime viewing. I think that those two are the games to watch from the start. I mean, Poland-Netherlands has a little bit of less buzz to it because Lewandowski is dealing with a little bit of a knock, and Poland just kind of perennially underachieves with him anyway. Hungary-Switzerland has potential dark horse, but yeah, I think some of these games could be pretty one-sided, and I don't think anybody outside of England or Germany, England, Germany, and Italy are all minus 200 or higher. But the rest of them are pretty even, so you can probably get some decent value across the board there this weekend.
Well, we'll be back at it on Monday, talking about all the weekend's action, taking you up through the games on Monday. We'll be live on Monday inside the studio, Daily Ticket, and we'll have live action. As a matter of fact, at that point in time as well. So a lot to recap, a lot to look forward to, and a whole lot more happening this weekend that we'll be covering on Monday. But, Joe, great stuff to get us started here on All Things Euros 24. Tansey 90 where you can find them on socials. Daily Ticket rolling on more after this.